Hello, Crystal Dawn Johnson here, your millionaire mentor and the founder of the Millionaire Launchpad. I am so excited that you're here today because we're going to be talking about what you do when your clients do not get the results that they're really wanting and the whole reason that they hired you, right? So let's talk about that. But first, I want to tell you a little bit about what I do and who I help. I help high achieving entrepreneurs that are high-end service providers really master their millionaire mindset, help them become the confident coach, service provider, or leader that they strive to be, and to break it through the current income ceiling, whatever that might be for you. So let's talk about this. As a coach or a service provider or done for you or anything where you're providing some kind of service, there's always going to be a point in time where someone is not getting the results as quickly as they want. Let me know if you've experienced this before. Now, as coaches and leaders and high achievers and people of excellence, we really want to deliver for our clients. We really care about the results. We're not in it just to get a quick buck. We're in it to truly help them transform whatever that might be, their health, their life, their business, their sales funnels. I mean, whatever that might be, right? So what do we do? What happens when somebody's not getting the results that they want? So there's a few things that I personally do, and so I had to learn the hard way, like so many of us have to do, but I'm hoping that this will save you. And the first one really is being proactive versus reactive. I think a lot of times people enter the coaching relationship with unrealistic expectations. So it is your job as a leader, as a coach, to set up proper expectations. And so what I mean by that is a lot of times the client will view the coach as having all the responsibility. Like, they are responsible for getting me results. And then a lot of times too, on the flip side, you'll see coaches who put all the responsibility on the clients. Well, they didn't do the work. So that's why they didn't get the results, right? And so it's your job to figure out what is their part, what are the commitments that they need to make, what are their responsibilities, and what are your responsibilities and your commitments as a coach. So that's the first thing, is being proactive in the expectations and just being honest. So it's kind of this fine balance, because when you are quote unquote selling and getting a client, you really want to sell the dream, right? You want to sell the gap, the pain, and the dream. You want to sell the dread to dream. You want to sell the hell to heaven, There's so many different ways you can say it. And if you're not as creative, sell them the point A to point B. But the point is after that, then you have to create realistic expectations. Okay, so it's not that they're not going to get those results. It's just maybe not as snippety-snappity, not as easy as they thought. So they're still going to have to put in the work, and they're going to have to do their part. So specifically for me, with my clients, I have a credo, and I have them watch it, and I have them sign it, and there's a PDF, and basically it has my responsibilities as a coach and what I am going to show up, what I am going to do, and what my responsibilities are, but even more importantly, what their responsibilities are. So it's a relationship like any kind of relationship where both parties have to be committed, both parties have to know what the expectations are for them. And so many coaches and people in the service industry do not do that, and either the coach puts all the responsibility on themselves, and so they're like, I gotta get them results, and there's no responsibility on the client's part, and that's just not how it works, right? As we know, we can lead a horse to water, but we can't have them drink. So it's a 50-50 street. But on the same token, there's some coaches who are like, well, I told them what to do and they didn't do it. Okay, well, obviously they needed more, or they needed a different perspective, or they needed an innovative way of doing it, and you didn't provide that for them, and that's part of your job and your responsibilities. Okay, so that's the first thing. So that's more proactive. So let's say you're already in the situation and the client's like, I'm not getting results, I'm getting nervous, we spent this time on this and it's not happening for me, oh my goodness, what do I need to do? So here's what you have to do as a high-level coach and as a confident leader, is you have to hold the faith for them. Okay, so my hope is that you have a process, right? You have a process, you've used that process, and that process has gotten results. And so it is your job to hold the faith, because here's what happens energetically. Your client who's like freaking out, they're kind of frantic and they're like not getting results, and of course they're focused on that, which is not good to begin with, but I digress. They're focused on that, and then you need to stay here energetically and hold that faith and be like, trust the process, it's going to be okay. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for your concerns. Let's talk about it openly because you want to have that open dialogue. But here's what happens usually is the coach, if they're not a high-level coach or they're not as confident in their process or in themselves, or even their client, which we have to believe 110% in our clients, right? Because sometimes they need help believing in themselves. That's partly why they hire a coach. So what happens though, a lot of times, and which only makes the matter worse, is you're up here and you're like, it's gonna work, and they're like, it's not working. So a lot of times you will come down to their level. So basically there's this exchange of energy and they're bringing you down. So your job up here is to hold that confidence, to hold that faith, to hold that trust, and to help create this space to help elevate them so that they start to trust. Because realistically, that's just business. Sometimes things don't work. You can be like $1 million coach. You pay someone $1 million and you try something and it might not work the first, second, third time. Business is all about experimentation. It's all about tweaking. It's all about testing. Because here's the thing, we're not going to know how the experiment performs until we do it. Okay? So you have to hold that faith, and that's part of being proactive and having those expectations in place, because so many times people look at you, let me know if you've experienced this, as the Hail Mary coach, I call it. They're like, oh my gosh, I'm down to my last penny and you fix everything for me. And it's like, whew, that's not how this works. That's not how this works. Just paying someone does not magically create a business. You have to do your part as the client, and you as the coach have to tell them what their part is and what your expectations are of them and what your expectations are of yourself and what you're going to bring, okay? So that's two things. You want to be proactive, not reactive. If you're already in the situation and they're freaking out, you need to hold the faith for them. You need to stay energetically high, and you cannot come down to their frantic level. You have to keep this confident, like grounding, basically, energy, and your job is to help elevate them to be like, okay, I trust you, okay. And then through time, what happens is it eventually works, right? Especially you're an expert, you know what you're doing, you know where to find the gaps, how to plug the leaks up, whatever it might be, whatever terminology, and it's eventually going to work if they keep going. And that's your job, is to help them keep going. So what happens usually when clients don't have coaches is it's not working. They stop doing it right and they go on to the next thing. It's not working. And they move on to the next thing. So they're all about breadth and not depth. Where you become a millionaire and super uber successful is you really master depth, which is not as much fun as breadth, doing all of the things. But when you figure out how to do certain things really, really well and maximize it, then you go on to the next thing. Right? So focus on one course of action until successful, I think. Focus on, man, there's something with focus, and it's like an acronym, but basically you focus on one course of action until you're successful, okay? So the last thing, and I really touched on this, is you have to trust your process and you have to help them trust the process. So many times as high achievers and your clients and just entrepreneurs in general, we're so future thinking, which is amazing. We're visionaries and we're like, this is where I want to be, but at the same time, that can hinder us. And what we have to start to appreciate and focus on is not the destination, not the end result, but the process. We have to trust the process, and we have to trust that we are growing and we are learning and we are getting to where we want to go, and we need to celebrate the small wins along the way. So to trust the process, we got to celebrate. Woohoo, we got to sell. Great. Okay. Woohoo, we got 2 sales. Woohoo. Okay, we got some responses back from people and really good feedback, so we can tweak the messaging. Woohoo. Okay, we did this, we did that. And so your job as the coach is to help celebrate those small wins, because honestly, the big wins don't happen all the time. Like, you know that, right? It's about consistency and patience and the time and the effort putting it into the work and the commitment to it and trusting the process, and then you will see the results. If we're only focused on the results, we're going to lose that momentum, we're going to lose that faith, and we're going to lose that confidence in ourselves and in our abilities. But your job is to help elevate them and create that space, that energetic space to elevate them, okay? But so many times in our industry, I see other people and the coach will come down to this energy like, oh my gosh, it's not working, do this, do that, and they become frantic. And it's like, no. So those are the things that I want you to do when you have a client that's not getting results. I want you to work on this, your credo, what your expectations are of them and what your expectations are of yourself and how you're going to show up for them. And then I want you to hold the faith for them. I want you to hold that energetic space and not go down to their level, but invite them to come up to your level and to that faith and that believing and that just keep going no matter what. It takes what it takes. It takes what it takes. It takes what it takes. Okay? And then lastly is trust the process. process. There's a process that you've gone through, and they need to trust the process. They need to trust you as your coach because they invested in you, or you're the service provider, and you need to hold that faith and that trust and help them buy into it, okay? Because basically you're believing in them, you're believing in the process more than they believe right now, because the only thing they think is, I'm only a success if I get these big results, and your job is trust the process, celebrate the small wins. Okay, so if you would like to be supported in a high level way, if you would like to have that container, that energetic space, to have that confidence, that grounding, a process maybe, even if you don't already have a process in place, or just to shift the mindset and to become more confident, to show up more boldly, to do the things that you know you should be doing, but for some reason you're not doing them as much. And you've been comfortable, like you have some level of success, and it's okay, but you're no longer okay with okay, right? You're ready for the next level, you're ready to go bigger. And you know that there's going to be some uncomfortableness, but you know through that discomfort that that's where big things happen. That's where the growth happens. So if you're ready for the next level, if you're really to dive into your passion, your purpose, your authenticity, and to become that leader in your industry, to create that millionaire mindset, and to break through whatever current realities that you have and current income levels, then let's talk. Okay? So I have the link below. I only offer 3 free strategy sessions a month. So if you go to the link and it doesn't work, put it in your calendar to come back the first of the following month and snag it then. I look forward to potentially meeting you, to speaking with you, and talking about what's going on in your business, in your world, in your mindset, in your life, and what we can do to get you to go to the next level and go bigger, because I know you're not okay with okay if you're listening to this. And I know that you care about your clients even more importantly if you're listening to this, and these are the people that I love to help, who care deeply, but you're tired of having all that pressure on yourself. You're tired of having that burden of getting the results, and it's too much pressure. You're putting too much stress on yourself, right? So we have to spread it around, widen the circle. It's not just all on you if you're doing that, and if you're putting it all on your client, then that's definitely not okay either. And I know that's a big thing in this industry. Well, the client didn't do this, the client did that. What is your part in this, okay? So you want to always ask, what is my part in this? So again, I invite you to the call. If you're not already, we would love to have you in the Millionaire Launchpad free Facebook group. And that's really all I have for you today. Remember to live a life by design and not default. Love y'all. Have a great day.